As Bitcoin approaches the all-time high, we all need to find out whether or not the cycle truly has topped or if we're in the last stages of the bull run. Now guys, we got a great video for you today, so before we do start, make sure you do leave a like on the video and subscribe because you're not going to want to miss this one. Now everybody, over the past week, Bitcoin, Ethereum, the total crypto market as a whole has seen extreme growth. Even on a pullback, a lot of our top altcoins are up. Even on a pullback, a lot of our top altcoins are up 10, 20, 50%, depending on which altcoin you do look at, guys. And now we're approaching the last stages of the bull run. It is the stage in the market which is the most difficult to navigate, as euphoria is going to enter the market, and there's going to be a narrative to say why exactly the bull run is topped or why the bull run is going to go on forever. So in today's video, we're going to look at some key indicators, and you guys can let me know at the end of the video whether or not you're still bullish or you're turning bearish. Now, number one is going to be the altcoin season index, and a lot of people get this wrong. They think that when this is in alt season, they think that when this does enter alt season, which is going to be around 70 and above, that is when you buy altcoins. However, you should be allocating to altcoins in Bitcoin season when altcoins are cheap. When it is altcoin season, you then exit altcoins and you either keep your cash, wait for the bear market, or you then can reallocate into Bitcoin to then be a bit safer with your investments. And you can see right now, we are still in Bitcoin season, approaching the median and entering altcoin season. And guys, what happens at the end of each cycle? Altcoin season. So we can say we've got still quite a long way to go until we are in a full-fledged altcoin season, and we should be worrying about selling our alts. Doesn't mean that it can't happen in the next month to 2 months, which is usually how long altcoin season does last. Now, a very popular indicator that a lot of people have been looking at is the Bitcoin MVRV ratio, and this ratio has had a pretty good track record over the past few cycles. You can see this goes all the way back down to 2013. Okay, not many indicators show this much historical price data, but you can see that every time the MVRV went above 5, so in this case in 2013 it was at 6, in 2017 it went to about 4.4, and in 2021 it went to about 3.5 at the peak, nearly 4. Every time this MVRV score has reached around 4 or higher, it has signaled the top. And where are we today, guys? Well, in the previous 2 peaks, the MVRV reached 2.77 and 2.74. So if you're to go off the MVRV, even if you say, right, it's going to be a diminishing MVRV, we could still be expecting a peak of around 3 to 3.5, which may come in this next final leg of the bull run. So we can say here, right, according to the Bitcoin MVRV ratio, we actually haven't reached our top yet, and all of the bear posters and the doom posters are just getting a little bit too ahead of themselves. Another really popular indicator is going to be the pi cycle top indicator, and if there's any indicators that we don't speak about in the channel, guys, then make sure you leave them in the comments and we can cover that in the next video. But pi cycle top, what has happened historically, guys? Every time we've reached our peak, the pi cycle indicator, the 111 DMA and the 350 DMA have basically crossed or at least touched and then had a sharp rejection. You saw that in 2014, you saw that in 2017, you saw that in 2021, and today we still have a very long way to cross. We nearly crossed at that 70k peak, but we had a big rejection, and now it looks like we're starting to make our way back up. So pi cycle top indicator is saying, guys, there's a lot more bullish price action to come in Bitcoin and in the crypto market. And if you don't believe the pi cycle top, then we can throw it back to one of the oldest and technically most reliable charts, which is going to be the rainbow chart indicator. Now, this is a bit hit and miss for some people. Some people really love this, some people don't. I think it just simplifies where you should be buying, where you should be selling, where you should be hodling, guys, especially if you're a new investor and you're not a seasoned investor who's been here for multiple cycles like some of us have. But you can see every time we've been in the lower area in the fire sale, buy or accumulate, it has come with a later rally going into, is this a bubble? FOMO intensifies, sell, maximum bubble territory. And right now we actually are looking to exit the accumulation zone. Now, I wouldn't personally be accumulating Bitcoin at these prices plus 100k, because, you know, maybe you only get another 50% to 100%. But a lot of our altcoins that we do speak about on the channel, our top RWA plays, our AI plays, are going to be the ones where they're probably leaving the accumulation zone, and very, very soon they're going to be approaching the seriously sell zone. And then next you have the golden ratio multiplier. So for all of you guys wondering what that is, the golden ratio multiplier explores Bitcoin's adoption curve and market cycles to understand how price may behave on a medium to long-term time frame. And that's what all of us need to be looking at, guys, is the medium to long term. Sometimes we get super caught up in the short term and then end up panic selling our bags. There would have been a lot of people who panic sold their bags when Bitcoin did retrace to 45k last year and even to 74k earlier this year. But you can see here that if we do approach the golden ratio, that's going to be around 125k to 157k. So again, around 25% gain to a 50% gain from where we are. So if history is to repeat, guys, then again, we still have a long way to go up until the upper areas of the golden ratio. And that's going to be really, really good for our bags like Ethereum when the money flow does start to trickle down into Ethereum. And we're going to go and look into how the money flow is going to trickle into Ethereum in a second in our trading view, but then also for our altcoins as well, guys. Now, one thing that you all need to be aware of, can I remove that? Yeah, there we go. Now, one thing that you all need to be aware of, guys, is going to be the long-term holder supply and some charts that will give you a bit of an indicator to say, maybe I should start to think about getting out of the market. Now, the long-term holders have been great at getting out near the peaks or at exactly the peaks. So you can see in the first cycle in 2013, they got out a little bit after the peak. In the 2017 cycle, it pretty much was the exact peak that long-term holders did sell their bags, and then you can see they started to accumulate through the bear market. In the last cycle, leading up to 60k, they started selling off their bags, with the peak being the peak bottom of Bitcoin holders selling their bags. And then you can see here over the past few months now, guys, long-term holders had actually been selling. So they've been selling from around 60k all the way through to 100k. But what you're going to see here, guys, is even though it does look like, right, maybe we are going to continue some downside for the price, Bitcoin holders have actually started re-accumulating at around 100k, which could be this final push up until 125 and 150k. But then also it's going to be a lot of the institutional investors and the new ETF inflows, which are just going to be DCAing into the market indefinitely. And then lastly, before we do go into our trading view, is the CBBI. And the CBBI is something that everyone was speaking about last year. I don't really see many people speaking about it these days, but CBBI is actually getting quite overheated right now, guys. And every time we've been overheated on the CBBI, maybe around 80 to 90, that has marked the peak. You saw it mark the peak in 2017 at 94, in 2021 at around 80, and now we are approaching near 80, or about 75 right now. We did hit 81 for the CBBI earlier last year when we did reach 109k. If we do go back up to 90, then that could be a big sell warning. Now, Bitcoin on the weekly looks really, really good. If you go and zoom into the MACD, it looks like we're getting our first bullish crossover in the MACD. And what happened after, guys? We saw extreme growth in the last rally. So maybe we do get another 2 months of bullish price momentum, and it is this last little push, maybe going up towards the upper area of the trend. And what is this macro trend, guys? It's a trend that we've been under for the past 2 cycles now. So again, I'm going to be seeing a big level of resistance at around 115k. By that time, maybe the CBBI has printed its top. Maybe the pi cycle top looks like it does want to touch. And I do think that a lot of sellers are going to be stepping in at these prices. However, if we do bust this pattern and we actually start to break towards 150, 160k, then we really need to be seeing where the MACD does start to flip back bearish. But another thing that you're going to see at these highs is going to be all the renewed super cycle is here. We're never going down again. This may happen and just be over here, guys, right? So new super cycle, we never go down again. We're at 120k at these time when these bullish narratives start getting put out, guys. This is a big sell warning, right? You're going to see this. You're going to see meme coins outperform. You're going to see Bitcoin all over the news. You're going to see, you know, crypto apps in the top 10 apps in the App Store. So that's something that we all need to bear in mind. And then we're going to see the bottom of Bitcoin dominance. Now, we saw a very good drop over the past few days in Bitcoin dominance. Right now it is finding support at its 100 MA. If we can roll over and maybe find one final low at around 50% or so, 55%, around here would be, in my opinion, the very peak of the bull run. Altcoins would have gone absolutely insane, and we should all be looking to exit our positions. So again, eyes on the prize on the Bitcoin dominance reference pair. But right now, Bitcoin has a little bit of a way to go up into the upper area of this channel. Again, a lot of the indicators are showing that we've got a little bit more gas in the tank. So you guys let me know what you think. Are we going to continue up for Bitcoin and for crypto over the coming weeks? Is a pullback due? Is the top in? All comments are welcome. Now, if you found anything in this video useful, make sure you do click that like and subscribe button. Leave me a comment to let me know what you want us to cover in the next video. Take care.